Picture this. An individual holds a position of trust, but faces a situation where personal interest could potentially influence the professional decisions they make. This, dear listener, is what we call a conflict of interest. It's a scenario that arises when a person's professional obligations and personal interests aren't quite in harmony. They might find themselves in a spot where, intentionally or not, they could use their professional role to their personal advantage. Now, this doesn't automatically imply wrongdoing. However, it might create a perception of bias or even dishonesty, which can be just as damaging. It's like having two voices in your head, each trying to sing a different song. It's confusing, right? And not just for the individual, but for everyone involved. Essentially, a conflict of interest is a situation that has the potential to undermine the impartiality of a person because of the possibility of a clash between the person's self-interest and professional interest or public interest. To better understand conflict of interest, consider these real-life examples. First, let's delve into the medical field. Picture a doctor who's been entrusted with the health and well-being of their patients. Now, this doctor starts recommending a specific drug to her patients. But here's the catch. It's not necessarily because it's the best option for their health. Instead, it's because the pharmaceutical company manufacturing the drug is offering her kickbacks for every prescription. In this case, the doctor's personal financial gain could potentially influence her professional decisions, leading to a clear conflict of interest. Now, let's move on to a different sector, the public sector. Imagine a public official who's responsible for awarding lucrative government contracts. This official decides to award a hefty contract to a company, but it's not just any company. It's a company owned by his brother. In this scenario, the official's personal relationship could influence his professional judgment. Again, we see a conflict of interest, where the official's personal interests could potentially sway his professional decisions. These two examples illustrate how personal interests, whether financial or relational, can lead to a conflict of interest. It's when someone's personal gain could potentially influence their professional decisions, leading to unfair outcomes and eroding trust. In both cases, personal interests could potentially compromise professional decisions, which is the crux of conflict of interest. So why does conflict of interest matter? It's significant because it has the potential to erode trust, tarnish reputations, and even invite legal troubles. Recognizing and managing these conflicts is crucial in upholding integrity and trust in our professional roles. It's not merely about the actual occurrence of impropriety, but the possibility of perceived impropriety. Conflict of interest is all about safeguarding trust, integrity, and fairness in every professional interaction. Remember, conflict of interest isn't about the actual occurrence of impropriety, but rather about the potential for perceived impropriety. It's about maintaining trust, integrity, and fairness in all professional dealings.